So, I just found out that, and I'll provide a link here in the description, but I just found out that Dark Side of the Ring, which is a very popular wrestling documentary series, which I guess you could say has ties to WWE in a sense, but not really. You know, they might, get their okay to show some footage and all that, but, mostly they're their own thing. Well, it seems that Dark Side of the Ring is going to be making a return. Now, it hasn't been seen for at least, I think, 2 years at most, since season 3 ended. And now season 4 is making its debut next month. That's right. According to Variety, on May 30th, the end of May, around Memorial Day weekend or Memorial Day vacation time, if you will, for a lot of people, Dark Side of the Ring on Vice will make its return to television with 10 new episodes. Now, they didn't say what all those episodes would be, but they gave us an idea of what some of them would be. For example, the way the synopsis, starts off is that they state that this season they're going to cover some of wrestling's most controversial couples, in the business. For example, we're going to get an episode on Chris Candido and Sonny Tammy Stitch, if you will. We're going to get an episode there. We're going to get one on Chris Candido and Tammy Stitch, if you will, as part of the season. Whether or not that kicks off the season as a two-parter where it's like the first half is on Candido and the other half is on Sonny, we'll have to see. They also talked about they're going to be, focusing an episode on the car accident, that unfortunately ended Magnum T.A.'s career back in the mid-'80s and pretty much ended any possibility of him having a major world title run in the NWA/WCW at that time. Those are going to cover the unhinged monster Abdullah The Butcher, who we saw, as part of one of the roundtables from Tales of the Territory. And they're going to also cover Marty Jannetty and what he's been going through, basically his downward spiral, if you will. I guess ever since the breakup of the Rockers initially back in '92, despite, a reunion here and there. But yeah, that's pretty much what they said. Again, they didn't say specifically what all the episodes were going to be right off the bat. They just gave you an idea of what some of the episodes are going to focus on. Like they said, they're going to focus on, Chris Candido and Tammy Stitch. They're going to focus on Magnum T.A. They're going to focus on Abdullah The Butcher. They're going to focus on Marty Jannetty and several others. I mean, that's just like what, 4, I think 4 or 5 already, or at least 4 that we know of. Now, it's like I said, it's going to be a 10-episode season, so if it goes the route that Tales of the Territories and previous Dark Side of the Ring seasons have gone, you're going to get, the first half starting, on May 30th, and if it's every week, every Tuesday, if it's every week, which is, I think it's going to be a Tuesday, as before. You're looking at the 30th, you're looking at the 8th, or what is it, not the 8th, the 7th maybe, the 14th, the 21st, the 28th, and basically you're looking around maybe the 4th of July week or weekend that it's going to end the first half, and then, potentially going into the fall, we'll get the second half as well. That's what I'm assuming they're going to do, unless they decide to do all 10 in a row right off the bat, which they could also do. I'm not saying they can't do that, but that's something they can also look into as well. Now, Chris Jericho is also going to be coming back to narrate it, so that's good. He does a terrific job, in my opinion, when it comes to doing the narration for Dark Side of the Ring, since he took it over from Mick Foley. So that's a great plus for them. But yeah, that's pretty much all we know. As far as Dark Side of the Ring goes, according to Variety, it will debut, like I said, on May 30th, the end of May, around the Memorial Day vacation time, week time, if you will. So it will debut around that time. And again, the episodes that they plan to do are basically on Chris Candido and Tammy Stitch, which I would assume if you're going to focus on both of them, that's going to kickstart the season to where you might, like I said, you might have one half of it be on Chris Candido, himself, and maybe a bit of Chris and Tammy together, and then that second half will be on Tammy herself. So I would assume that's probably how they're going to kick it off. Again, they're going to talk about Magnum T.A.'s unfortunate career-ending injury due to the car accident that derailed any chance of him becoming a world champion, because that was pretty much the plan for him back in that time frame. If that accident had not happened. They also plan to talk about Abdullah The Butcher. They plan to talk about Marty Jannetty and his downward spiral and his controversialness that has followed him a lot of places, if you will. So yeah, they're going to cover a lot of topics. A lot of retired or semi-retired talent. Past talent that's no longer with us. And again, they haven't mentioned everybody yet. They haven't brought up the whole list, because I'm pretty sure they're still working on it. They're just giving us an idea of the episodes that are pretty much, already set to go and in the can, for at least the first 4 out of 5 episodes of the first half of Dark Side of the Ring. Because again, like I said, it's going to be 10, where I'm assuming, again, just based on what I've, of what I and everybody else has seen in the past, I'm assuming the second half will be around, the end of August, beginning of September. So yeah, that's, that gives us something to look forward to after, summer breaks and everything on Tuesday nights. Outside of that, there's not much information given outside, from what they're initially going to be covering. I mean, I know there's other stories they're probably working on, as well. There has been talk of other stories. I think people want to see an ECW story, despite the fact that we've had numerous ECW, documentaries, produced independently and by WWE and such. They want to see something like that. I know there's other talent out there that's had controversial careers who are no longer with us or who might still be with us, but maybe they can't be talked to or something. There's a lot of talent, like I said, a lot of talent, a lot of stories that we may or may not know of yet that'll probably be covered in season 4. But right now, the initial lineup, at least the first 4 out of these 10 episodes, all together, the first 4 that they pretty much seemingly, in my opinion, have set and ready to go are on Chris Candido and Tammy Stitch, which again, I'm assuming will kick off the season as a 2-hour special, 2-hour premiere. First half will be on Candido and Tammy, together, and Candido on his own. And then the second half will mostly be on Tammy. And then I think after that we'll go right into regular 1-hour episodes where they focus on Abdullah, the focus on Marty Jannetty, Magnum T.A, and whoever else they got to close out the first half of season 4. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really am looking forward to it. It's one of the more intriguing stories out there. Oh, not intriguing stories, but one of the more intriguing wrestling documentaries out there. Because it really, it really dives into places that not even WWE and sometimes not even companies like High Spots or RF Video or any of them, or even certain podcasts like, let's say, Jim Cornette's podcast, would even want to dive into. So, so yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to season 4. Cannot wait for it. And we'll see what else gets announced for the first half. Again, we'll pretty much, have an idea of what the first 4 episodes are going to be. But what that fifth episode will be to close out that first half of this 10 episode season, is anybody's guess. But we'll see. We'll see what they bring to the table. Some obviously want to see a Ricky Dozan episode and everything. It's just a little. I think Salamonster said it best, that even though that would be great to see, it's kind of hard to maybe get any footage, perhaps, of Ricky Dozan in there, not in there, but to utilize to feature. But if they have that maybe lined up, that would be a great episode to tune into and see. But we'll have to wait and find out. I mean, again, like I said, there's a lot of stories we don't know about. That we don't know about when it comes to wrestling. That Dark Side of the Ring, sometimes will surprise us with. And we'll be like, oh, I didn't know about that. I got to check this out. So, yeah. Again, I'll provide the link in the description. But, it's coming back. Dark Side of the Ring is coming back on May 30th. Around Memorial Day weekend, or at least at the end of Memorial Day weekend. And it seems like, to me, from my opinion, my speculation by reading this article, we're going to probably kick off with a 2-hour premiere focusing on Chris Candido and Tammy Stitch, where I believe the first half will be on Candido, himself, as well as, his relationship with Tammy, Sonny, if you will. And then the second half will focus mostly on Tammy, Sonny herself. So that's what I'm thinking we're going to start out with. But what are you guys' thoughts? How do you feel about Dark Side of the Ring making a return on May 30th? Comment below, live chat during the premiere. Love to hear from each and every one of you on this. And until next time, guys, I am out.